5 used sports cars you'll never lose a dime on. So you wanna buy a fun, fast, cool, heck, ideal sports car, and you don't wanna lose a dime on it? I like where your head's at, because that is exactly what Ideal Cars is all about. In this video, I'm going to list off 5 cars you won't lose any money on. Then I'm gonna break it down and show you why you won't lose any money on that make and model, and finally show you the exact ideal car that this guy would buy. All of this is a light version of exactly what I teach you in the Ideal Car Strategies. So feel free to check them out because I built them for next generation car enthusiasts just like you and me, or wait, you and me. And also if this video gets 1,647 likes, I'll release the second video that I've already made on 5 boosted sports cars that you'll never lose a dime on. All right, let's start off this list with a little bit of British invasion. My name is Bond, James Bond. Nah, I'm just kidding. But in 2006, Aston Martin offered the Vantage Coupe with the 4.3-liter V8 that pushed out 380 horses as their entry-level product in the brand line. This was easily the most financially accessible Aston Martin ever made available. And this British bad boy was a machine that was built directly to compete with the Porsche 911. And it makes quick work of 0 to 60, doing it in just 4.8 seconds and tops out at 174 miles an hour. This is a sports car, but it's the most daily drivable Aston Martin ever made. Plus, this car brand holds ties with race victories at Le Mans and 007. But do not get the wrong idea. No, this car won't instantly make you a race car driver or as attractive as Bond. But hey, it is worth a try, and here is why. Well, here are the depreciation schedules for the last 3 years of the 2007 and 2008 Aston Martin Vantage V8. And you can see down here that they have been appreciating year over year. In the last 12 months, the 2007 Vantage has gone up 3.7%, while the 2008 has gone up 2.2%. And then in 2009, when they introduced the 4.7-liter Vantage, you can see it's still depreciating a little bit, but it'll get there where it'll be an ideal car, but just not yet. So we're really focused on the 06 through 08, which are now starting to appreciate. If we take a look at this graph, you can see that there's steady depreciation for both the 07 and 08, 2 and 3 years ago, and then all of a sudden it starts to get really squiggly, which means that it's starting to level out, and you can see here that this actually has appreciated from 42.7 up to 45.8. Now these are prices that people are asking for the car, not the sold prices. Here's the one that I would go buy. It's a 2007 Aston Martin Vantage. It's got 40,000 miles on the clock, and it's black, tan interior. It's got most of the options. The thing about Aston is they're not line item cars like Porsches where you can put 20K in options to outfit it. Rather, there's heated seats, navigation, things like that. But most of the Aston Martins, because it's a luxury brand, they come with that stuff anyway. The big key here is that 6-speed manual. Now, looking through, I mean, it's a beautiful car. One thing you do want to note when you're looking at these photos is you can see here there's a little bit of chipping going on, and so you really want to dissect every single photo. But at $38,995, you can get that car for mid-30s and drive it for a year and a half, 2 years, and get that out of it. It's an ideal car. The 997 911 is always ready to deliver the performance of a lifetime. Ask me how I know. Well, I may be a little bit biased because I've now owned one for quite a while, but it's been the most ideal car I've ever owned, period. With its fluid 911 lines and hints of retro aggressive styling that recalls on the 993 generation 911, the infamous boxer engine pushing out at least 325 horses and lays down 0 to 60 times in just 4.6 seconds. And that oh so dreamy 911 handling. At the limits, it has benign understeer, which can easily be corrected with lightly rolling into the throttle. Yeah, it has 60+% rear weight bias because the engine is hanging out back. But once you've driven a 911 hard, you'll quickly understand why this brand has one of the most loyal enthusiast followings of any brand. They really do drive the out of their cars. And there's a good reason why they put miles on their cars, because 911s don't depreciate the same way with higher mileage as other cars. It's just, they're bulletproof, they're reliable, and as you can see here, we're talking about the 997.1 generation, and in 05 and 06 down here, you can see that it's been steady for the last couple of years, where the 07 and 08s, which this also includes price data for the GT3, so that's why they're a lot higher, because it's prices of all 911s that are listed on Car Gurus. So as you can see here, it is completely flat and it's starting to appreciate over the last year or so. Now, the car that I would pick up would be this 2006 Carrera White base Carrera, and the reason why is because it has 325 horse. It's already more than enough power. The car is a momentum car to begin with. I mean, you're supposed to use the momentum. It's not brute force. And this car already has 19-inch lobster wheels on it. And if we take a look at the interior, it's a nice cocoa brown, and it has the sport seats, which are really cool. The only thing is it doesn't have the sport chrono, which is something that I really would like, but it's not a must-have. It's easier to resell the car with it, but this is it right here. You don't want the Tiptronic from the 997.1, you want the 6-speed. So this car is easily a car you could drive for a couple of years, really enjoy, and get your money out of it, and maybe even make a little bit of money. E46 M3. Let's take a second and look at the facts. The third generation of the M3 sports a thrilling 3.2-liter dual overhead cam inline-six pumping out 333 horses and revs to a sky-high 8,000 RPMs. 50-50 weight distribution with race-inspired brakes and suspension. An aggressive exterior and a buttery 6-speed manual made it to a variable M-locking differential. 0 to 60 comes up in 4.8 seconds. This is the recipe for a car that can tear it up on the straights and hang in the curves. Yeah, this one delivers more M-motion. Get it? M-motion. And with a locking diff, you got yourself a little bit of a drift missile. So on that note, let's drift into the pricing chart and see why you won't lose money on an E46 M3. Okay, real quick, before we jump into E46 M3 depreciation schedules, I want you guys to look at this 2014 BMW and really see what depreciation looks like. Look at this. It just goes from 19,227, and in just a year, it's at 17,2. So you can see that is depreciation, where with the E46 M3, squiggly lines, baby. That's what you want to see. Yeah, it was depreciating. This is a 3-year depreciation schedule. You can see that they all have been depreciating, but then in this last year or so, boom, they're all pretty flat and appreciating a little bit. And you can see that the O2 is appreciating 8% year over year, and they're all in the green, which is awesome. And so the car that I would pick up is a limited edition. Now, with the E46 M3, they were mass produced, so you really want to pick up one that is unique. So either a comp package in the 0506, or this one is Oxford Green Metallic, and it's only one of 116, which that's rare. So you're going to get a really cool, rare car. It has 98,000 miles. It has the Apex Arc 8s on it. It already has coils on it. Bunch of maintenance done to it. And yeah, you could pick up this car. I mean, it's already an instant classic when it was made, but with this spec, it's really going to hold its value extremely well. The C5 Z06 Corvette. Maybe your midlife crisis has just come a little bit early, or you're just looking for the best bang for buck sports car out there. Either way, the C5 Z06 is an absolute blast. A little history lesson. The Z06 code signifies a racing package offered in 1963 that include finned aluminum drum brakes, beefed up suspension, and a larger 36.5-gallon gas tank. Now in 2001, the C5 Z06 was the highest performance production Corvette ever built, taking an LS1 motor and casting a little bit of magic on it to make it an LS6. The powerhouse pushes out 405 horses. Well, in 2001 it was 385, but 02 to 04 was 405. And this thing flies from 0 to 60 in just 4 seconds. The tightly wound small block is fitted to a racetrack ready chassis. And although it has drag strip worthy acceleration, the brakes and suspension make it one of the most well-rounded sports cars to date. But the C5Z isn't just about performance, because it's a fantastic value as well. And here's why. Now, Corvettes have what I call seasonal depreciation, where you can see here 3 years ago in February, and all of a sudden it goes up during July and then back down, and then up during the summer months and then back down, and then up and then back down. So what do you think it's going to do next summer? So you want to buy it when it's not in favor in the winter months, and then sell it obviously in the summer. So this is where I would buy and hold for 18 months. I'd buy it in the winter, drive it through that summer, hold on to it that next winter, and sell it that next summer. So an 18-month ideal car. Now you can see that it's pretty flat here. So the car that I would buy is this 2002 Z06, and the reason I'd get an 02 is because they went up to 405 horsepower stock instead of the 385. And they came out with Electron Blue Metallic in 2002, which I think is the best color. You can lower these 1 inch on stock suspension, make them look pretty good with those 18-inch wheels. But this one has 40,000 miles and a 6-speed. They all came with 6 speeds, and it's just a fantastic buy. These are pretty bulletproof engines once you get the valves taken care of. So this is definitely the buy at 17,250. Yeah, that car is not going to go down much more, and you can have a ton of fun with it. The 2003 to 2004 Ford SVT Mustang Cobra, aka the Terminator. This Mustang is no one-trick pony. By adding a supercharger, a 6-speed manual, and 390 horsepower out of the 4.6-liter V8 force-fed with 8 pounds of boost, burnouts anyone? This thing is a force to be reckoned with. Oh, and that supercharger whine. 0 to 60 comes in 4.9 seconds. With a firm, well-balanced ride and a ton of low-end torque. The Terminator is ready to not only boil the tires off standing still, it also loves the track. And with a supercharger already installed from the factory, this is the only car on the list that has forced induction, which means the tunability to roast every other car on this list is readily available. And let's see how you can do that without losing any money. If I were going to describe Mustang Cobras right now, they are hot. I mean, this is some appreciation. This is definitely an ideal car, the 0304 Terminator, baby. As you can see, the last 3 years, it's been pretty steady. Lots of squiggly lines. That's really good. But then, bam, appreciation. And you can see here, I mean, this thing's gone up 25% in the last year. And so 0304, you don't want to get an 01. They aren't supercharged. The 0304 are the ones that you want to get. And this is the one that you want to get. It's an 03. It's a 10-year anniversary car. Silver. It's pretty plain. It's got the two-tone interior and some Stinger exhaust. And at under 24 grand, I mean, if you're close to 20 on this using the ideal car strategies, you are in for one heck of a performance bargain. So the 0304 Terminators, great values right now. So there you have it. 5 ideal cars that you won't lose a dime on and have a ton of fun enjoying them. An ideal time, I might add. Which one is your favorite from this list? Or did I miss one, like an S2000? Let us know down in the comments, baby. Also, if you'd like to learn how to properly buy and enjoy ideal cars just like these, with the goal of either breaking even or making money on them, check out the Ideal Car Strategies. Oh, and support the channel. Snag a shirt because they're cool. No, seriously, they're super cool. Okay, if you liked this video, you are going to love the video on why you should buy a higher mileage car because you're not going to lose money on it. So check that out over here. Or if you want to see what YouTube recommends you watch next, click here. Oh, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe. But either way, you can't lose. And as always, keep living that ideal lifestyle.